Hey everybody, welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're going to talk about the most profound thing I learned working in 1 month of fast food. Like when I first came to Atlanta, I was just trying to work and survive. And so I worked any job. I was just like, man, I should learn how to work fast food. That'd be pretty cool, right? And then I only lasted for 1 month. So one of the most profound things that I learned in that 1 month was learning about a concept called speed of service. Okay, speed of service. So basically, when your car comes in through a drive-through, there's a sensor, and then the sensor ticks off a clock. So in the restaurant where I worked at, it starts off at 2 minutes, and the idea is that the clock will go to zero, and so you want to get out the fast food order within 2 minutes. Like you gotta literally take the order, handle the change, um, get them the drink and the fries, and I was just like blown away how much work it was, um, and how little you got paid. It was like one of the most mind blowing things that I experienced. But I would say even though it was 95% bad, the 5% that I would say was good is I actually learned about the speed of service concept, right? So in my mind, the way that I interpreted it is that if your order comes out under that 2 minute mark, that gives you the customer a good experience, so they're much more likely to come back to your restaurant. And I thought, aha, light bulb moment. The faster you do things and the faster you respond in your customer service, that will make your customer magically boomerang to you and give you more money, right? And I was like, why did it take me so long to figure that out? And that's because I just realized that most of mainstream society is kind of like the opposite, right? Like they just take their sweet, sweet time and pretend to be busy. And I'll be honest, like when I was in middle school, high school, I used to be very close to my friends, and we text each other all the time and message each other. And then as soon as I graduated high school, it was like another dimension. I felt like I was like sending a text. Sometimes what happens, like they send me a text message, I hit them up back, and then they never respond in like 5 to 10 years, you know. And then I was like deeply offended, and it seemed like everybody was doing that to me, and I was just like, I think because I got so emotionally numb, I just thought that that's how the rest of the world worked. And then when I finally worked in that fast food restaurant, I was like, aha, here's an aha moment. The faster I respond, the more money people will give me. Sure, that in fast food it gives you peanut wages, but you apply this to everything else, man, the money's there. In fact, this is why I think like competition doesn't even exist because most people don't even try. I mean, think about the people around you, right? Like you want to get to know them and they just act like they're way too busy for you or they're not even paying attention. And making money and having a business is all about serving other people. And I don't know about you, but when people act like they're too busy for me, that doesn't make me want to whip out a credit card. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make me want to whip out a credit card or write a check or give you cash. And this is why I think the vast majority of people are poor because they want to feel important about themselves and they're lazy. And so instead of actually being responsive and providing a service to the marketplace or a good or service to the marketplace, they want to feel important about themselves. So they just pretend to be busy. And people who pretend to be busy don't respond to your inquiries or messages. You see what I'm saying? And so this is why I think the vast majority of people are broke because they're not they're not doing, let's say, what the fast food companies are doing. The fast food companies are trying to do everything they can to get their order out within 2 minutes to make sure you come back, whereas the average person doesn't do that because they think that lowers their status. And then wonder why nobody wants to give them money. Okay? And so if you take a look here, okay, so as a landlord, right, as a landlord, it's not a coincidence that I'm getting multiple 14 grand checks from the same tenant. And this was a tenant's first text message. Thank you so much for everything. We appreciate you. And the reason that I keep getting these checks, it's kind of like the speed of service concept, okay? Anytime the tenant texts me and I have a special noise for people who pay me for versus people who don't pay me, anytime I get that text message, that speed of service counter goes off in my head mentally, right? If I ever let the tenant's text message go unanswered for a couple of hours or even a day, I'm like, it's over. It's over. But if I'm able to do it within a few minutes, then the speed of service counter has been satisfied. And that ensures that these rental checks keep coming in, right? I'm not too busy for my tenant. All I got to do is just respond quickly, a little thoughtfully, and the tenant will feel like, wow, you care about me. The landlord cares about me, even though I never said anything like that. Okay? And here's the problem with most people. Because most people, for whatever reason, act like they're busy, they wonder why the tenant doesn't give them the rent check. Right? Because they treat the other people as an annoyance in their life, they're wondering why nobody wants to give them money. Right? Think about that. Think about it when the tenant doesn't pay you the rent. Did you make the tenant feel like you cared about them, or at least even just pretend to care about the tenant, right? Like you don't even have to care about the tenant. Just pretend to care. And that's better than 95% of people. Okay? Like how do you make people feel like you care about them? Just respond to them immediately, right? Respond to them immediately, and they'll be like, wow, my landlord really cares about me, right? It'll almost feel like an AI. And this is why I think AI is so popular. Even though like a lot of what AI writes, especially in at this moment, like in 2024, will be it is kind of inaccurate or kind of weird, but within 2 or 3 years, the technology will probably like blow what we have by leaps and bounds. But the reason why I think AI is so popular is just because as soon as you like type in some text and hit the enter button, it just spits out something. I think that's what most people are looking for, right? That's why most people have a pretty good experience with AI compared to just normal human beings in general, because normal human beings, they think that not responding and looking busy gives them status, and then wonder why they're nobody's going to give them money, right? Whereas people with AI, they're just like, hey, I have some questions, and then you hit the enter button, and then the AI just like automatically spits stuff, right? It doesn't have to be right, but you feel good because you feel like, man, someone's listening to my concerns and is actually trying to help me out. With most human beings, you ask them for help, you just hear crickets, right? So very important speed of service, okay? And again, the reason why most people are poor, at least in this country, is because they follow the opposite path and they pretend to be busy. And in some cities in the United States, they're masters at it, like the city of Los Angeles. Like, I could just go on and on about the city of Los Angeles, but they are masters at pretending to be busy and wonder why that city has so many poor people. Okay? It's all about your attitude and spirit, and money will flow, okay, to people who respond and care. That's where money will flow. Because think about it for yourself. Do you want to whip out your credit card for someone who does a presentation, it's mediocre, and then when you ask them questions, they act like they don't care? No, no. You want to whip out your credit card for someone who's doing a presentation that speaks to your needs and concerns. And when you have a question and they reach out to you and answer it correctly, and continuously, you feel good, right? Kind of like the AI. Like the AI is addressing your concerns immediately, and that's why people like the AI. People don't like other human beings these days in general because most human beings these days just don't have the decency to be human anymore, which is kind of sad. All right, so that's it for today. Us Korean Atlanta Mentorship. Have a great day, and we will speak next time.